goes to dansavage.orlandomagic.com.
Cliff, how's Evan doing? Will he be able to go tonight? And was AG's thing planned in advance for him to rest today and play tomorrow based off his condition?
Yeah, so Evans, he'll go out, and he's been trying to warm up here. We're still not sure. He's going to go out in the court in a few minutes, and so once he does his routine, we'll know whether or not he'll go. With Aaron, it's just too much of a risk to have him play both nights, and sitting down with Lindsay with the flight and all that. It made more sense for him to play tomorrow night and have these 2 days. We were very light yesterday, and then it gives him, he's going to lift and stuff today, but it's just, I think it was the best way to do it.
Mark Berman, Fox Houston.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm not answering any questions from this guy. We got to start. Listen, there's got to be some rules on this stuff, George.
That's my fault.
You got to cut me a little slack.
Huh?
Good. How you doing? Happy New Year.
Good.
So how cool is this to be coaching opposite Steven?
Oh, it's not cool. I mean, it's just like coaching against Tibbs or Stan. We spent a little bit of time last night together, and Steven did so much for me, and we've had a great friendship for a long time. So it's actually not fun at all.
How special is it for you to see him in this position now?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it was a matter of time, he's a terrific coach, and he's got a philosophy that he believes in, and he's a great communicator with the players. So he'll do great. It was a great hire by the Rockets, and he'll do great here.
Steve, why do you say it's not fun?
What's that?
Why do you say it's not fun?
Oh, because, besides working together, he's one of my best friends. We talk regularly, and, I don't want him to lose, so I think it's just the dynamic, you know what I mean? It's like when you and I talk like this, it's just not that fun, Mark, you know what I mean?
All right. Thank you, Steve.
All right. Good to see you.
Same here.
We'll try Philip Rossman-Reich, Orlando Magic Daily, see if he gets a better response.
Be much better. Cole getting his first start tonight. What are your general expectations for him? And I know you said you wanted to kind of bring him along slowly. Is there still a way to bring him along slowly and just keep him in positions to succeed like you had planned in the position that you're in now?
Yeah, obviously it's a good question. Everything will be sped up a little bit. But in terms of, I think like the way we'll utilize him, we'll still play through him a lot in pick and rolls. He'll be on the floor, obviously, with the other starters, of which tonight, it's a different grouping anyway. And then the one thing we're going to be careful of is he was really, really hurting the other day. 32 minutes for right now at this stage in the season is too much. And so like all the younger players, the plan has to be in terms of minute wise that he can, get to 72 games. And so that part we've met on, and he won't play the same minutes as Markelle just because, physically it will take its toll on him. But like I said, we have great confidence in him. He's getting better and better. And I think he'll play well. And I know his teammates have confidence in him also.
Josh Cohen, OrlandoMagic.com.
Hey, Coach, with Markelle out, how much of a benefit is it to have guys like Vooch, Aaron, when he's playing, who are very good playmakers, who can handle running the offense that maybe you were going to run Markelle through?
Oh, for sure. And you'll see when Aaron comes back, we're going to initiate some offense with him. As not necessarily we'll have a point guard on the floor, but we're going to run more things with him as a primary ball handler and initiator. And, we've always played through Vooch a lot. We had really good success last year in the bubble when we started a lot of offense with him. So those are both good options. And actually, the other thing that I hope we can get to eventually is, in college at Carolina, Roy Williams ran some things for Cole, getting the ball out of his hands and then bringing him back off staggers and some screening actions similar to what T. Ross and Evan do, which he's very good at. So I think we can hopefully get to some of that also.
Roy Perry, Orlando Sentinel.
Hey, Steve, just to kind of follow up on Aaron a little bit, is this something that you'll look at more frequently with any, back-to-backs, or will it be more of just based on how he's feeling at the time?
We're hoping this might be the last time. I mean, his minutes, he's, we got a bunch of guys right now who are on kind of soft minute restrictions, I would say, that, we're dealing with, and he's one of them. And, he had been making such good progress until the last back-to-back, and it was a setback. So what we're hoping is he feels a lot better now, but by not playing both of these, we're hoping that, we have another back-to-back next weekend, the Boston, Brooklyn. We're hoping by then maybe he'll be able to do it.
Yeah, follow-up, Roy.
Just to follow up, I'd be remiss if I forgot to ask, who will you start tonight, Steve?
So if Evan can play, it'll be Cole, Evan, Dwayne, Gary, and Vooch. And if Evan can't play, then it'll be Cole, Dwayne, James, Ennis, Gary, and Vooch.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Steve, one of MCW's goals for the season was to play in all regular season games. How tough a task would that be for him, considering just how physical he is, how competitive he is, how much he throws himself into his defense?
No question. I totally agree with that. I mean, he's so all out, and he's diving on the floor, and he makes contact plays. So I think it was a great goal. And then, the other part of it is not having a shortened training camp, I think for a lot of guys has made it more difficult. So, I think another year, where, if we could have stayed healthier, he's another guy. We have a number of, I'm not going to get into all of it, but I've just had to play him more minutes than we expected. And that's part of some of these issues too.
Back to Dan Savage.
Cliff, when you look at the film, what is Christian Wood doing well for the Rockets, and what kind of addition has he been for them?
Well, I think he's bringing many of the same things that Capella brought. He's given them a role game. Plus, he can shoot the three. If you guys remember last year in Detroit, he shot the three very well. So, and Harden is such incredible passer that, the Harden or the John Wall, Christian Wood pick and rolls are a bear. And Christian can sprint to the rim. I mean, some guys roll, and when they don't roll as quick, your rotations, there's not nearly as much pressure on the back of the defense. He can sprint to the rim, plus he can, they can just throw it up. And if you're not there waiting, it's a dunk. So he puts a lot of pressure on the defense that way, and I think he's a good fit for what they needed.
Philip Rossman Reich.
I don't know how much of this you can get into, but with the news that Seth Curry tested positive for COVID yesterday, you guys played them a little more than a week ago now. What's the general feeling among the guys about that news, and are there any concerns about potential exposure? I know the incubation period can vary a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, we test every day. Every team has to test every day, and so we tested this morning, and the guys do the rapid tests every day. So, as of right now, everybody's been good, and the NBA, they're so thorough with it. I don't think we could be doing any more than we do. I mean, we're all wearing. I've got my contact thing on here. I mean, it's, so far, knock on wood, we've been fortunate. But let's face it, it's going to happen. I mean, for most teams, I think in the NFL, of the 32 teams, I believe 31 had at least, one incident. So you know, no matter how careful teams are, and the hotels are being great, they're going out of the way to make it as safe as possible. But, you know, it's, you know, again, as you guys know, and especially right now, I mean, you look at 4,000 deaths yesterday. I saw Florida, our cases are ridiculously high. And, you know, we're here in Texas where they've been one of the other states that have been, you know, really high. So, yeah, I just think unfortunately it's, you know, again, it's the world that we're living in right now.
Any final questions for Coach Clifford? Okay, thank you, everybody.